a really eventful day today, and of course, well, I say it seems like I say that every day nowadays, but it is just absolutely true. And we're watching everything that's going on this afternoon with a lot of anticipation on some more breaking news out of Minnesota, out of Atlanta. This election investigation thing is really kind of blowing my mind right now. We'll continue to get you updated on that. As far as the weather, last several days, we have been talking about the weather right out of the gate. And dude, the snow seems to have, they've moved everything off to the east, and not any of the models are showing anything significant for the state of Alabama right now. So I think we're completely out of the woods on that, and we're so close to the event. There's not much room for variability, and that is the models going wobbly or something else changing. So we'll keep an eye on that for you tonight too. Just plenty to do in a 4-hour show. AJ, I noticed that you cannot see me right now.
Yeah, I know.
I was in here doing some last minute engineering on my own, trying to redesign something, and something went squirrely. I don't know what's going on. I'll work on it during the breaks.
You must have removed a screw or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at, sometimes you look at this computer technology and like everything just kind of just went blank all of a sudden. And when you're trying to do a radio show, it's not the live environment to figure that out. But we'll figure it out here in just a minute, and I'll see what's going down with everything in the news. Now, let's start, I guess, I'll start in Minnesota. Lord help us, Minnesota. So last night, as the show was wrapping up, we had a video to come out, and it was this guy that is, that got himself killed this weekend, and that's exactly what happened. He got himself killed. And so we're watching that situation, and it was the second video from about 11 days before where he was attacking our ICE agents, attacking them. And so that video gave us a little bit of context. But what was even worse is when we finally see some other parameters to it, and we got the audio. Now, I've told you all yesterday, if you're trying to make a snap judgment or an emotional judgment on a police incident and you don't have context, you don't know what happened prior to the video rolling. Sometimes we don't know what happened after. And in a lot of cases, the video is shot from such a distance that you can't see or hear what's going on, and the sound of the environment is what the officer has to take into consideration when they're making these snap judgments. And sure enough, in the video that came out yesterday, there was another angle. It was almost a reverse angle from the other side of this character, this Preddy character, and his attack on the police. And true to form, he was screaming, "Please attack me, mother effer." He was trying to bait the cops into hitting him or beating him, maybe shooting him. He was being extremely provocative by design. Now, there's some reporting that he had quit his job in nursing and or had gotten fired, but he was really making his living from these organizations that are paying these people to be in our streets, causing this kind of trouble. And that is context. That has more to do with his presence the day he was killed than him being a nurse or anything else about his background. His motivations in that moment when the officers were attacked are key. They're absolutely key. And your motivation, your motive for showing up on a scene, provoking violence from the authorities and getting that kind of response from them, it's all on him. It's 100% on him. I would dare say, and let me go a little bit further, and I don't want to talk about this case all day because it's really infuriating, the bad reporting, some very good, decent, innocent people being misled about this whole thing, believing things about this incident that aren't remotely true. That stuff's frustrating to me, and I have to remind myself that I operate in an information environment, and I'm privy to stuff all day long that some people are only getting the surface of, and it's frustrating when people will dig in on an issue that they barely know about, that they barely have information on, and don't have any life perspective like a cop or somebody that's been in these situations. Or I'll even say it, even me with the experience I've had being around crime stories and policing and the stuff that goes with it. When you've got that kind of background, your anticipation and your expectations are tempered just a little bit. If not tempered, experienced enough to kind of read into what may be happening or understand what information may be missing. And that's what a lot of folks were missing about this case. This guy provoked that incident, and it's just a terrible situation from beginning to end. So we'll continue to report on that. But the dude was goading. He was out there that day, and if you watch the video, 11 days before he was killed, and the officers are doing their jobs now. But remember, these agents are doing their jobs. They're sent there under orders. The orders are proper and legal. The job they're doing is legal. The job they're doing is appropriate. You're not seeing these incidents except for where these insurrectionist type people are provoking the incidents. You're not seeing this in Dallas. You're not seeing it in Memphis. You're not seeing it in anywhere else in the country. But suddenly Minnesota is some kind of city under siege. Minnesota put itself under siege. Joe Biden is responsible for this. That mayor who kept encouraging his people to get in the faces of the people that are doing their jobs in ICE, the fact that they would not use their police department and respond to 911 calls and create a more secure situation during these ICE operations is part of the storytelling as well. That's dereliction of duty. It's dangerous. And they got this guy killed. Whoever trained him, and through those who was managing the signal chats, alerted him as to where ICE was, told him where to go, and trained him on how to provoke and resist arrest, which is what their training encompasses. In addition to the signal chats, which became available this weekend, we also had a training manual that had heretofore not been known about. I didn't know about it. I'd never heard about this manual's existence. We knew there was materials, and I've just always assumed they ran off in the woods with each other or hid in the back of a bowling alley somewhere and told each other how to behave when the cop approaches. Even his kicking out of the taillight, that's in the training manual. It's one of the things they tell their people to do to provoke. If you think about it, the lights on a vehicle are easy targets in terms of you can knock those out with a shoe or a foot. They tell them to break the glass. They tell them and by the way, once you strike a vehicle which is loaded with those officers, you've automatically committed a federal felony offense. And so that's what this guy was trained to do. He did what he was trained to do. So if there's any blame, if your heart broke when you saw the video, what happened to him was tragic in that ICE and the Homeland Security folks were doing the best they could do in that moment after being besieged by these people for weeks on end and then being attacked, and this guy's got a gun. He has a gun. It's not like he didn't have a gun. You know who didn't have a gun? Ashley Babbitt. She was in the Capitol on January 6th and was shot completely unarmed, and it was ruled justified. Why? Because that untrained officer believed his life was under danger. And so the state of mind of these officers after all this guy's activity, and what we don't know and what we're going to find out is, did this character, this Preti character, have previous contact with any of these actual same agents when he already provoked them, dared them to fight him, dared them to attack him, spit on them? He spit right on one of the agents. The agent gets in his car as the spittle is coming toward him. The agent slams his door. I call him agent because I don't know what his role or rank was. The guy gets back out of the car because now this guy's committed an offense. Now remember, their job is not to go down and arrest people that oppose them. They're not even attempting to do that. That's a waste of their time. Their job is to go down and effect these arrests based on these outstanding warrants of these criminals that are here doing damage in this country. And that's what we ask them to do as American citizens. So they're down there doing that job. Now they've got to do another job because they've been physically assaulted or attacked. That turns into another crime they've got to pursue and make an arrest on. The sad thing is, I wish they'd arrested this guy in that moment. That shows, if anything, that shows also tremendous restraint. If you ask me, and this is a personal judgment, this is not a legal judgment. I'm not a cop. And I've said this over and over. I'd be a terrible cop. I'd probably shoot somebody on the first or second day out, because cops have to have discipline and they have to abide by their training. And if you look at all the incidents and the flashpoints that have been manufactured in that city, it's amazing only 2 people have been shot and killed. And I believe that. I don't know how they have the professionalism and restraint to put up with what they've put up with for all these weeks, doing what has become a thankless job, and then being vilified by people in office, members of Congress, mayors, DAs, death threats, their families being harassed, can't sleep at night, working away from your family on your deployment, wherever you are. I heard somebody make a point today, even in the military, sometimes day to day, we're not asking them to even face the same circumstances. On a daily basis, every day these agents get up and walk out the door with that badge on. It's a battle. They're going into battle every day they wake up, unless you're in an actual war zone. And by the way, the loudmouth leftists that keep talking trash about all this stuff, this is what they say they're doing, that they're resisting and they're taking a battle to the federal government over this issue. Y'all, it's a nightmare. And look, Tom Homan came out today. By the way, I listened to as much of that as I could. I was moving around in transit today, getting a lot of stuff done. And Homan was amazing. I mean, this guy talks real fast. But here's a dude. Let's think about Tom Homan for a minute. He's worked for, I think, 4 or 5 different presidents. He was in the Border Patrol for 30 years of experience of these same kind of interdictions. The law hasn't changed much in those 30 years. Being here illegally is being here illegally. And this guy understands this issue better than anybody in the state of Minnesota in government. And so they put him in there, and he had an approach to that. It was so no nonsense. It wasn't bombastic. He even had, it looks as if he had tempered his tone a little bit. He was very soft-spoken, but he was as clear and direct about this issue as you could be. Just to paraphrase one of the things that Homan said, and this guy, look, this guy's a national hero. Obama thought so, gave him a medal for the work he's done. This guy's worked for Democrats and Republicans, because this isn't, and it shouldn't be just a partisan issue. This is a right and wrong. We either have laws or we don't. We're a nation that's independent and free, or we're not. And so as we continue to watch all this nonsense, here's Homan, who's talking to the folks in the audience at this news conference. And he basically said, look, it goes like this. If there's a felon who deserves to be deported, and he's committed some kind of felony or heinous crime, even a brutal crime like child molestation or assault, one of these things they're constantly picking these people up for having done. If the city and the state officials let ICE know, it takes one agent under peaceful circumstances to go and pick that person up from the detention and remand them over to federal custody and take them on order to their processing out of the country. One agent. But when you send your people in to make these arrests and detentions into a city where you're fighting with the citizens, the police won't help, the political leadership are ramping everything up. Now they've got to send 16 or 20 agents in for that one apprehension. So thus you see the presence in that city and the manpower that the federal government sent in there to get this done was necessitated by the people in the city themselves deciding they were going to be part of some citizenship that I don't know about, that suddenly you can be above the law if you're from Minnesota. You don't have to abide by the supremacy clause. Whatever your government's feelings are all that counts. If your mayor, if your beta male mayor just is up in his feelings one day about his neighbors, well, then that's the law. That's not our country. We're not a mob rule nation. And what's been going on in that city is nothing short of mob rule. They've taken over the streets and they're largely in control. Now, what has changed since Homan showed up is he says he got the city of Minneapolis to agree that ICE is a legitimate agency that has a legitimate duty under the law to enact these immigration laws, and their presence in that city is lawful, and the city acquiesced to that. For his part, to bring down the rhetoric, they're going to quit doing these roving stops inside the city. And in exchange, it looks as if the city is now going to do 2 things they haven't been doing. They're going to respond to 911 calls when somebody from the feds gets into trouble and they're hunkered down by these organized. And again, I got to discipline myself too. They're not protests. These organized operations that are targeting our federal officials. In those circumstances, it's going to be the local police and the state police will respond to those calls, and then the 2 jobs are separated. The HSI and the ICE guys can go ahead and make their operation. They can do their detention, do what they're sent there to do, right? The police can do what their job is, and that's keep order and peace in their city, of people blocking traffic and stalking people and disturbing the peace and assaulting folks. That's the Minnesota police's job. And if they'd been doing that this whole time, you'd not seen any of these images. But the images are what they wanted. Again, they train these foolish people. I believe a lot of them have serious mental illness and or other issues. It's the only way I know to put it. And they train those people to go out and pick these fights with these armed agents. And I am telling you, maybe it's hypercynical, but they wanted one of them to get shot to create a flashpoint. They wanted them to be murdered so they could use them as martyrs and somehow continue with this narrative that the federal government's a bunch of Nazis. They're not. They're doing the same job they've done under previous presidents. And here's the fun part. They're going to keep doing it because that's the law. And that's what a law and order society does. All right. So there's the opening rant. We'll get into more of that stuff, your calls too, on all those same subjects as we roll along here tonight. 545-9950. If you want to get on the show, bring it. We'll put you on the radio. Leland Live, Talk 99.5. Y'all stay tuned. All right, let's get this thing going again. Leland Live, Talk 99.5. I keep bumping my buttons, AJ, and I just blew my ears out. How about that? You doing all right this afternoon? I hadn't even checked in with you yet. I hadn't had time, man.
Man, I'm too blessed to be depressed as always, bro.
All right, that's how you do it. Lonnie is Furniture Company bringing you the show tonight. LAUNIUS, LonnieIsFurnitureCompany.com. Man, these guys they just do everything right. And I appreciate all this time what John and Reggie and these guys have done to help people get their homes outfitted. In this time of year, we spend a lot of time inside our homes. We spend a lot of time cooped up. Maybe you're looking around going, this place needs a tune-up. Well, you can do that at Lonnie's. They've got deals for the entire home, and it's not an overstatement when you've got almost an acre of furniture under one roof. That's a lot of selection. That's a lot for people to choose from. And Lonnie's is there to help you out with it. Everything from if you need expert advice, say you get stuck and you're not sure what's stylish or what might go together, they're very happy to help you with that. Some people are more lean toward that than others. I'm a little bit more of a leave me alone, let me think kind of person, and they do that too. If you want to come in there and plop down on a couch and just sit there and stare out the window and think about it, they're fine. Take your time. Low pressure, small town environment. And then, of course, with delivery, they'll bring it all the way to you. If you don't want to have to haul it or fool with it or don't have a truck, they'll bring it all the way to your house. They're just great folks and have helped so many for so long here in the listening area. It's Lonnie's Furniture Company, LAUNIUS, Lonnie'sFurnitureCompany.com. All right, let me move to a couple of more things that are happening here this afternoon. Let's start over in Fulton County. This is getting interesting. And there's wild speculation as to what was found, what was discovered, what prompted the FBI to show up in Fulton County after all this time and really go to work and start trying to figure out exactly what was happening back in 2020. Now, some people believe there's a connection, and this happened the minute Maduro was snatched in Venezuela. There was immediate speculation that this was tied to the potential rigging of the vote counters, and that would be the voting machines as we now call them. Because some of the technology that was used in the voting machines, some of the random brands that were used around the country came from Venezuela. And I know you're sitting here thinking, how would it be from Venezuela? What? We've got some of the highest high-tech firms in the world. Why would they be getting Venezuelan vote counting technology? Well, that's because some of the companies, the theory goes, and this, I'm not stating this as fact. These are theories about how people understand how some of this scheme to rig the machines started. It was in these third world kind of countries, and Venezuela is not third world, but it had been run like one with a dictator as a leader, where the leadership wanted to guarantee the outcome. They would start to use systems to get around the system, and electronic vote counting became a key to that. And so they sort of developed their technology. A lot of folks believe the Chinese helped in the development of this technology, and that would make sense. We know the Chinese had a beachhead in Venezuela. We know the Chinese have a huge interest in the outcome of any election that Donald Trump's involved in. And so now let the conspiracy theories fly. So I don't know that it's a coincidence, but you've got Maduro gets snatched. We start getting access to some of the stuff that was happening as an offshore sort of corruption location involving American elections. And all of a sudden they're in doing this raid in Fulton County. Now, that may not be connected to anything if it's not involving these machines. We do know there was testimony of recent with one of the executives of one of these machine firms saying, yeah, they had been influenced and been working with some foreign governments. Which was that foreign government? Cuba, Venezuela, China? What foreign government? So this thing's getting more suspicious by the minute. As to what happened on the ground, this is what we think we know tonight. There may have been as many as 700 boxes full of election documents that the FBI took control of. It was of such great concern that Fani Willis herself showed up nervously. If you saw the video of her, you saw how she was behaving. Several of the elections folks that run that county, that sort of county, that dysfunctional county in Fulton, started showing up making statements to the media. They were very, very concerned. One of them even said, "We have no way to ensure the integrity of our votes because we have lost control. They're no longer in our possession." What does that mean? I mean, you're the one being accused of fraud. You're the ones that had all the chaos on election night in 2020. So my fingers are crossed that some legitimate evidence will come out of there. It was also reported last night that Tulsi Gabbard made an appearance. I mean, you got the director of national intelligence showing up at a vote investigation. That's peculiar because she wouldn't have direct oversight, but is overseeing issues where national intelligence gathering, particularly over foreign threats, could come under her purview. And so this is all building up to something. Now, here's another theory. We've got the SAVE Act before the Senate. And by the way, it looks like we're moving toward another government shutdown, at least a partial one, because they're going to run out of time at midnight tomorrow. And the Democrats did one of their usual stunts and voted down a bill that would move things forward today. So this continues through tomorrow night at midnight. I believe the shutdown would just be through the weekend or for a short number of days. And it's only a partial government shutdown, but still, it's the optics of it and it's the tactics of it. They're dug in over the ICE funding, and they're not going to get that. They're just not going to get it. So anyway, back to the SAVE Act and all these things. When we're trying to get election integrity voted for in the United States Senate, what better than to finally come forward with proof of how that election was rigged and what they did to do it, if there's evidence still around, evidence that doesn't add up, tabulations that don't make any sense. I saw a report tonight, and I haven't had a chance to read the whole thing or put verification on it, but it was along the lines that there was one address in Atlanta that had thousands of people registered to vote. Listen to what I just said. Thousands of people at one address registered to vote in those elections. Did they vote, or were those votes cast in the name of what's an implausible scenario of thousands of people at one single address? That's to be discovered, and that those records should be there. Not how they voted, but that they voted. And let me caution you on this too. Even if you find that there was irregularity and all this stuff, we're still not going to know who those ballots went for. Does that make sense? Even though we all know. In other words, if they had 300,000 mail-in ballots that were incorrect and shouldn't have been counted, which they've now admitted to, 300,000 out of a state where there was only 11,000 vote difference, I would submit to you all 300,000 were for Joe Biden. Yeah, they stole it. But you'll never know that because we can't know, even with all these records, how those ballots voted. It's going to be crazy if we hear something about this case. I think it's going to be a while, though. They're building something. We'll update you on that, too. And everything else that's going on tonight, y'all hang on Leland Live. All right, let's keep going. Leland Live, Talk M5 as we get on back here and do our thing this afternoon. Do appreciate everybody jumping in here. Crocker Moving Services, next up here on the show, crockermovingservices.com. Many of you have heard my pitch for them for years and years, and you understand they are just, Eric's just a remarkable guy. I mean, his expertise and his work in the Marine Corps, and then how he took those values and that training. Any of y'all that have been in the service understand this: hard work, dedication to your team, lead your folks, make good decisions. Even the logistics of executing something that you want to get done in the Corps makes a lot of sense in your training to become a world-class mover, and that's exactly what you've got with Crocker. Eric hires the best people. And one day they were helping me with a project, and I thought to myself, where do they find these folks that are willing to do this hard work? Moving is hard, and they're so polite and so good and so careful with the stuff. And it's because I really think they respond to the way Eric does things and the leadership that he shows at his business. And that's saying something in and of itself. Y'all, it's CrockerMovingServices.com. If you just need just a simple move, so just a couple of things move, y'all reach out to them and let them help you with those smaller projects. I tell you all the time about their 2-hour minimum rate. That's really, really cool that they're able to do that. CrockerMovingServices.com. And of course, the full scale stuff, they can move you all the way across the country. And of course, if you've got business needs, if you just got some moving that you need, it doesn't always have to be household stuff. Let them help with that too. CrockerMovingServices.com. All right, before I get into any of this international intrigue and all this other stuff that's in the news, AJ, I'm still working on my tech issue over here. I think I figured something out, but I have no idea. It was called a software update. You ever have that happen just out of nowhere? The thing just decides, hey, I'm going to update right now.
Oh yes, all the time. It's like you're getting ready, getting prepared, and it's like, oh yeah, we decided to update right now.
We're just going to do it now. We don't. Why wait?
Yeah.
So yeah, there we are.
And I hate those little messages. Do you want to snooze all updates, or just want to go ahead and update now? Like,
no, go ahead and disrupt my life now. Why wait?
All right.
I'm in the middle of something. I did that the other night. We were getting ready to watch. We had gotten into some TV series last weekend, and we were excited. We'd done our day. It was some day last week. We'd run around, done all our Sunday stuff, came back home. The weather was cold. And we said, let's put our show on. The TV said, cleaning the pixels.
What?
I was like, yeah, it's that your device is cleaning the pixels. This will only take about an hour. Like, cleaning the what? Can't you do that at 2 a.m? What's the deal with that?
Right.
Anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I know this is first world problems, but a lot of times when I'm getting ready to play like my video game, and next thing you know, it's like, oh, we need to update. And I'm like, what we updating? Like,
Oh, really? Yeah.
Update
Like,
now?
Yeah.
Like right now?
Sorry.
Like,
Sorry, dude.
Can you update when I'm at work when I'm not trying to play? Like,
that's how it goes. How it goes. All right. So, is Fred on the line? We got another traffic update. We'll do some loose stuff right now. We don't have to go 100 miles an hour. Fred, what you got?
Yeah, well, it's this construction over here on the interchange at 459. It's got and 59. It's got everything jacked up. Back on 59, back on 459, moving everything down to one lane. People peeling off on the Highway 11 trying to get around it that way, and it's just a mess. I wish those people would get on done with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's one of those pardon our progress. We always complain when the roads are bad. Then we have to complain when they're trying to fix them. So maybe they'll get that straightened out for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Fred, appreciate
anyway,
it.
I'm rolling now, but I was worried about the car overheating.
Fred's getting it done, man. All right, good job, buddy. We appreciate it. There's Fred.
Take care of you. You're getting it done. I'm enjoying listening to you. And Crocker's top drawer. I got them to move my mom.
Oh, really?
From Cherokee County down to Calhoun County.
Well, it's good to hear about that. I'm glad they took care of that. Good stuff. Well, we appreciate you, Fred. Thank you, buddy.
Take care. Bye.
All right, there's Fred tonight. Take care. Thanks. 545-9950 if you want to get on the show as well. Bring it. We'll do that thing. Okay. AJ, it's so weird. I'm used to just staring at the cameras now. And even though I'm having trouble with my little operator here, I'm still staring at the camera like y'all can see me. I've gone back to a creature of habit. I'm going to jigger with this thing during the breaks. All right, so let me back up just a step or two, and I hear the phone's ringing. I wanted to ask AJ a question about a local issue that I have been just out of the loop on. I had no idea this was going on in the city of Birmingham, and somehow it turned into a social media thing. But I found out about, of course, from Jessica during lunch. We got together for lunch, and she's laughing about some meme, and I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about, and I felt completely out of the loop. I guess we've been so obsessed with all the national stories lately.
Man, look, that story has been it's kind of hilarious. With
you talking about the two titties?
Yeah, the city council member.
Some people won't say the word. I'm gonna say what they call it. They call it it's the two titty scandal. Now I'm still lost as to how this happened and what that means. Can you fill me in?
All right, so from what I heard from the actual phone conversation, it was like a 6-minute phone conversation that Mayor Woodfin and Scales, who's a commission. She's on the commission for the city of Birmingham. Supposedly, there was this rumor about Woodfin backing some her potential opponent. And he called her and say, "Hey, keep my name out your mouth. I did not do that." Yada,
So they're having these are private back and forth conversations with or about other people, right?
Right. That was recorded. I don't know who recorded what. I'm not exactly figuring out where that was, where that came from. But then he was like, because she was like, "Well, we got to keep this professional. We're adults." He was like, "Oh, we're adults. The last conversation we talked about was two titties." He's like, "Wait a minute, what?"
What? And so everybody got onto that, I guess.
Yeah, everybody kind of got harped on that one little part of the conversation, and not the the total conversation.
Yeah,
which lasted like about 6 minutes. Excuse me.
That happened.
And then went down the wrong pipe. And he said that towards the end of the conversation, and then everybody kind of harped on to that because it was like, forget about the drama. And he was like, "Yeah, if you continue to put my name, I may just have to do what I need to do." And she was like, "Well, what does that mean? Hey, I just say what I had to say." And it's just, it's just politics. It really is. It's politics.
So he said that the last conversation they had was her referencing that he had two titties.
I don't know. That part, no. He was like, the last conversation we had, we talked about something about two titties. And we was like, wait, what? I was like, what? Okay. I don't know what that conversation was about, but he was like, well, we haven't talked in years, so it was just one of those things, man. So now he put a statement out. She's making the media rounds, and it's been a pretty interesting conversation.
I don't know much about. I don't keep up with city politics like some people do.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they just ran at each other? Am I right? She just ran for mayor, right?
Yeah. So she was one of the opponents, and I think like if I'm correct, and somebody may correct me, I think she kind of helped him when he first ran, and I don't know where the falling out happened in the midst of that. And so now it's been it's all out war. It seems like in politics. So but it's been interesting.
Oh, well, this is where I was lost. So I'm sitting at lunch. We're having lunch. We're talking about random stuff. And she holds the phone up, and it's a meme that says, "Tale of Two Titties, Birmingham, Alabama." And I'm like, what? What are we doing right? What just happened? And that's the meme. I mean, that's what's going on in the city of Birmingham.
Yeah. It's and that's what everybody's just harping on, because at first I was like, I saw like all these different posts on social media about like titties, and so I know people like, stop saying the word, but hey, it's in the news. We're just reporting.
It's in the news.
We're just reporting what was said, and now it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
I wish I knew more about it. I could be a whole lot more engaging and funny about it, but I've got no idea what the. I got no idea. All right. So there's that. Just trying to clear the air on that as we roll along this afternoon. If y'all got any input on that situation. All right, real quick. Let me. I tell you what. I'll go ahead and get to this break because I'm still working on I'm still one eye is on the show, one eye is on trying to fix this gear. All right. So Alabama Gold Refinery. I was trying to find here it is. Trying to find my device, man. Gold's been blowing my mind every day. I haven't kept up with it, to the minute every single day, but I guess some of y'all are counting on me to do this update every day when we get to this spot in the show. And it was at 54 yesterday. Let's see. I got the percentage pulled up. If I can get this thing to act right. Gold looks like it's back up today, 0.2%. I'm trying to get it to convert over to numbers or the actual number. Yep. Here we go. Gold, commodities, gold. Well, it just disappeared. This ain't my day, AJ. I think I'm just going to let you have the show right now and just take on over. But looks like it's up another several $100. Oh, here it is. 53.51. Still up for the day, but what a remarkable run it's had. Here's the point. If you'd invested in it years ago, you'd be sitting on a pile right now because it is more than doubled in value. And, of course, if you've got something to sell, say you're not in the buying position right now, but you've got something to sell, now's a good time to take a look at gold. It really is amazing the run it's had. So y'all let them help you at Alabama Gold Refinery and help you figure out what's best for you. Steve's a great guy. He's just a great guy to get to know now. He is busy these days with a lot that's been going on. So y'all get with him on all this stuff and let them either buy your stuff at fair value. Now, look, it's a safe location in Homewood across from that big Regions Bank. They've got lots of security where they buzz you in. Some folks are a little, curious about coming and going with their valuables during these situations, but I think you'll find that they take such good care and they offer good value. And then you've got a real resource and a place to do these kind of exchanges. It's Alabama Gold Refinery, AGR, alabamagoldrefinery.com. We'll be back here in just a minute. Leland Live. All right, y'all, 246, Leland Live. AJ, I got one of the cameras up if you want to take a look at that. These other two are coming on board now. Nothing like being your own engineer at the same time that you're getting all this stuff done. Here, we got some Woodfin calls. Let's just go ahead and hit the phones right now. Line 2 is Paul. What's up, Paul?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, man.
Hey, so from what I've seen was Woodfin put a statement out, and he said that some years ago when she was on the council or whatever, she told him, she said, well, you've got 2 titties, right? Well, you give one to me, and let the other council have the rest of the council don't get the other one.
She wanted her own personal titties, what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the rest of them, the other 7 or 8 can fight over the other one, I guess. But, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
And Woodfin put it out, and you guys talk about not saying the word titties on air, and I thought it was funny when, I forget if it was AL.com, whatever it was, they actually put asterisks as, like T-I asterisk asterisk I-E.
Oh, they did. Yo, titty's kind of the mildest word.
Yeah.
It's the mildest of the words, titty.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, I guess some people may get offended by that one, but yeah, that's what I read is that was the whole thing about it. That's where, the last time we talked, you was talking about 2 titties. So, and you want to have an adult conversation now. So, yeah.
Fun times. All right, y'all are getting me edified on Tittygate. Are we going to call it that now? Can we call it Tittygate? We always put the word gate on everything.
I was going to just say jugs.
Thank you, Paul.
There you go.
People in other cities around Alabama just have to roll their eyes.
This is the first time I heard Mississippi say, thank God for Alabama.
Oh, yeah, that's their new state motto. I saw a map. I saw a map the other day about it was a color coded map, and I got to get to Beth's call too. It was a color coded map about what each state hates. Does that make sense? So it grouped everybody by color, and Alabama, Georgia, and Florida all hate Florida. Florida hates Florida. But then Mississippi, Arkansas, and Louisiana hate Alabama. I was like, what? I mean, it went all over the country saying, I guess it's a rivalry thing or a next door thing. We don't even think about Mississippi, but they really don't like us over there. Just saying. Beth is on line 1. What's up, Beth?
Okay. Hey, Leland.
Hey, Beth.
So I just have a question, and then maybe I missed it. I've been trying to keep up, with the ICE shooting with the Preddy guy, and I haven't seen anything from his family. I just found that really weird. Did I miss it, or have y'all seen anything?
They hired a lawyer and put out a statement. They did acknowledge when that second video came out that was him fighting with the police in the streets. AI tech tools identified it as him. So the family was forthcoming. My understanding is privately they're telling people he had started losing his mind over left-wing politics a long time ago. And I think it eventually cost him some relationships. It looks like it probably cost him his job. And now it's cost him his life because he was out there in a very provocative way day after day, and some believe being paid. We know he was in those signal chats where they were directing each other on where to go. So he wasn't innocently down there. He was down there to pick a fight, and he got a fight. And I hate it that he's dead, but that's just what happened.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, bad choices.
Yep. And
right,
here's thank you, Beth. Good call. Here's what really frustrates me about even some of the reporting along those lines is that people immediately wanted to jump to this being both First and Second Amendment related issues. So you had people that jumped on the fact that they were like, well, he's just doing his First Amendment. And I guess what we have a tendency to do sometimes is put ourselves into the shoes of a victim, right? It's called sympathy or empathy. And you're trying to put yourself in those shoes of, boy, I'd hate to be manhandled by the police like that. But most of you, even if you're listeners that you're on the other side of the political spectrum, you're not going to go out and pick a fight with armed military or law enforcement officers or anybody in that official capacity. You're not an idiot. And you haven't been driven to that kind of idiocy with your own, mania over politics. And, I do think social media is driving people mad and driving them into these binary positions. I mean, you're either agree with me or you're evil and you must die. I mean, we've got quotes on that today. There's a candidate in Ohio that flat out said, I'm going to kill Donald Trump. And then he tried to explain that by saying, because when I'm in office, I think he's running for AG or something, we're going to prosecute him and give him the death penalty. Well, you can't qualify that. And I'm sure he's going to get a Secret Service visit, and this guy's got a colorful past, and he's kind of a loon and a yahoo anyway. But that's how mad some of these politics are driven. This Larry Krasner out in L.A., freaking district attorney, one of these Soros district attorneys, saying that they're going to hunt down ICE agents whenever they have the power and treat them to like Nuremberg-style trials for doing their jobs as federal law enforcement officers. Comparing them to the Nazis again, it's like and let me just say this about that. I've got so much to say about this story, and I really wish we could move on to something else. But, and I went through this the other day. First, people using Nazis as a comparative when you want to vilify somebody is the laziest thing in the American dialogue right now. It is the most boring, trite, lazy thing to do when you're trying to come up with some way to have an eloquent way to vilify something. It is completely lazy. It's intellectually lazy and not to mention wrong. And this bears repeating too. The people that are being detained and deported by ICE, as vile as some of them are, and maybe even as relatively innocent as some of them are, they came here just to work and now they've got caught up and sent home because they're not supposed to be here. But what's the worst that happens to them? They go home. The Nazis did not round up Jews and send them home. They ripped them out of their actual homes and sent them to death. They sent them to gas chambers. Do these fools even know what that was about and what actually happened to these people? By the millions. They had a systemic death machine that sent these people for extermination. None of these illegal immigrants in this country are being exterminated. You've had a couple of random Americans that got caught up in sweeps but were let go as soon as it was sorted out. The police do that all the time. If they go to a chaotic situation, I don't know, so there's a brawl somewhere, they're going to put everybody in cuffs and set them on the curb till they sort out who's who and who did what, who's subject to being charged and who's not. Cops have an impossible job in chaotic situations. And in some cases, because of the tactics of the American left, they're making this job even more chaotic, not just for the agents, but for the people they're trying to detain. If these people once picked up by the local police were they're in police custody, they're in the jail, for some reason they're due to be released by the local liberal bail or bond laws, it's not good for them to release them back out on the street so they get into a fight or a standoff with ICE where they try to use their car as a weapon and get shot. It's the local police that are just fomenting that by their lack of cooperation with the feds. And that bears repeating. But these people are not being sent to detention camps to be exterminated or to be in prison forever. They're sent home to the place they came from. Some of them haven't been here that long. They just got here during the Biden administration. I mean, they're being sent home. And whether it's for raping somebody or assaulting somebody or DUI or murdering somebody or just stealing our money, they need to go home. They need to be away from here. This isn't their country, and they don't add anything to our experience. I love it when the left says, oh, they enrich us and make us more colorful. No, they don't. They're stealing stuff and killing people. How's that enrichment? I don't need it. I don't need liberal enrichment. I'm enriched enough. The comparisons are ridiculous. The rhetoric's over the top. I think they continue to have to play to these things. And I honestly believe it's the narcissism and the mania and the psychosis that's just drifted this cloud over this entire country these days over issues like this. Anyway, let's go back to the phones. Let's get Shane and McCullough in here. What's up, Shane?
Hey, man, I just want to tell you, man, I'm going to be off topic, but that's kind of deep, brother. But I'm going to tell you something. AJ plays the best bumper music.
Yes, he
ever.
does.
and you, what was your name again? You ain't too bad talking. What was your name? Leland. Yeah, you pretty good fellow too.
I appreciate that, man. That's very kind.
Well, I used to go hunting down around your hometown.
Did you? Where at?
Yeah, Roanoke. I lived in Ranburne, Alabama. You ever heard of it?
Oh yeah, I tried to ask a girl out from Ranburne, and she shot me down one time. I've hated that place ever since.
Too, because there's some country girls up there.
They're mean. They're mean. Yeah, this was like a little junior college experience, and I mean, I was like, "Hey, so you want to like?" She's like, "No, not really." I was like, "Oh."
Where was that in Carrollton?
No. We were in class at Southern Union State Junior College when I was 18 years old.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh yeah.
I might know her. What was her name?
I don't know. I just like the picture. She weighs about 350 right now, and
yeah, I'm glad I didn't date her either. But anyway. Well, I'll tell you what, man, I love y'all show. I hate to get off topic, but I want to make everybody smile by saying let's all agree that AJ plays the best bumper music ever.
AJ is
damn bad yourself, my brother.
He's the man. He is the bumper. He's the bumper man, and we all know it. We play. I like to say we play better music than the music station. So there
absolutely, man. Just think about it. If he was back in your day at the dance, you know.
Oh yeah.
Sadie Hawkins dance or whatever, and he was DJing. Man, that would be awesome, wouldn't it?
I'd still be there. I'd still be dancing.
I know, right? Anyway, man, I love y'all show, man. Keep it up. You do a great job.
Except for that bitch from Ranburne, I wouldn't be dancing with her, AJ. You ever been just shot down, just straight out of the saddle?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Can't even remember this chick's name either. She was sitting across the class. I thought, let's see if she wants to go to the movies. It was very innocent. And I thought she'd at least give me a lie, like, no, I got to wash my hair. So I was like, hey, you want to get a movie this weekend? She's like, no.
Damn. And now look. Now she's listening to you on the radio like, man, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
She's probably working out of the back of a meth lab right now. I'm sure. Jim's on a cell phone. What's up, Jim? What do you know, man?
I do. First time caller, man. That story kind of reminded me of, who was it? Trace Adkins had that song, How Do You Like Me Now?
Yeah.
Living in Your Radio.
Oh, that was actually our Toby Keith. That was Toby Keith.
Oh yeah, Toby Keith. Okay, so hey, on the subject of Minneapolis Nazis, I think that was a quote from the Blues Brothers, wasn't it? I hate Minneapolis Nazis. Anyway, so
yes, that's true.
With
wow,
them,
good memory.
Yeah. Oh, it was Illinois Nazis.
Yeah.
Anyway, with them talking about ICE being Nazis, there's certain strategies that you just can't get away from, no matter what military you represent. I mean, the Nazis carried rifles, but the United States Army also carried rifles. I mean, there's only so much you can do. One thing I'd be really remiss to point out at this point, with them making that claim, if AJ can pull up a certain image online real quick, if you know specifically what a Pride Progress flag is, I know you've seen it before, but you might not have had a name for it. Look up a Pride Progress flag.
We'll look.
Okay, it's pretty recognizable. You see it downtown in Avondale and stuff.
All right,
Jim, so what
I'll check that out. I'll check that out. Unless you want to hang on, we got to hit the break. Back here in a minute. Y'all hang on. Stay tuned.